I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice?
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to a new video. Today we're gonna play something different. I never ever played this game before. It's the Stanley Paradox Parallel Ultra Deluxe. This game was kind of weird. Like, I have to type what time it is for me in real life. So yeah, and I heard this game got like so many
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
endings. Okay.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk.
One finger.
Telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them,
What?
and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. But Stanley was happy.
It's kind of...
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Well, that's me. Step out of his office. So I guess we have to do it. Okay. That's a quite
All
nice
of his
office.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
This narrator is so...
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Oh, I can actually close the door. Okay, nothing's really going on right now, so...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, this left, yeah.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to not solve at this point with of coworker? Let it ball up inside of you, take it out. Oh my god. Yeah, what kind of meeting is this? Room.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay, I'm gonna just listen what he's saying and doing, so yeah.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Bro, everything is locked.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
4, 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley
No, that's not random buttons. Just say that to me.
Code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
What the heck? What? Okay, I guess you have to go down. kind of weird, but
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
okay, Stanley.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
Mind
that
control
read
facility.
Mind Control Facility.
Escape. Let me go mind control facility. I want to see what. No, the door's locked. Oh, okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yeah, why not? Definitely. Oh my god. Okay.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives
Nobody.
of so many
Nobody's
individuals
there.
reduced to images on a screen.
What?
And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where
Fired.
freedom meant nothing.
700. 104. Okay, let's go to the next one then. This game is kind of weird. I don't know really.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Where am I? Alright, what's my name now? I don't remember the number.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I can't see nothing, okay.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
Mind
happy,
control
or
offline.
sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
You told me I've
And
been
as the
mind
cold
control.
reality of his past began to sink in,
Yes, I did.
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I think I did it. Yeah, I probably did it.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beat the game. Trophy. I just beat the game? Get your first trophy? What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bro, it's just the same again. Maybe we could get... I think the name is...
Stanley went around touching
Hello,
every
because we can
little
get different
thing in
type of
the office,
endings. That
but
makes
it didn't
sense.
make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Okay, let me just try get a different ending. Okay, let me just go down where you can escape. I want to see that ending
When
first.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open
You know what?
doors,
Nah.
he entered the door. This was not the correct way
want
to
you
the
on the
meeting
right.
room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Story lounge. Bro, every door is locked. So this is the wrong way. Oh, okay, it's the lounge.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to
I wanna
spend a
go
few
drink, man.
moments
Come on,
here in
dude.
this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood
coffee?
here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
First open on the left.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Maybe next time I can everything he says, I just do the other thing.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to
I wanna
the
try that
office. He
other
wanted to
way.
wander about and get even further off track. So now, in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Wow.
No,
What?
no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right?
Bro, choose
What was I
one.
thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
No. Bro, this guy is flipping his
See,
papers.
we went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okay. Let's go down. Oh, it is actually on.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
Okay, I'm just closing my eyes then. Like,
Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
no way. Was that an ending?
All of his
I don't
co-workers
know.
were gone. When Stanley... Wait.
What?
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change?
Bro, what happened?
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did
No.
you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's
What?
here somewhere. Okay, then.
Well, I can
It's
go
an
full on.
adventure.
Oh my god.
Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
This game is actually nice. I really like it so far. It's different. Bro, is this a maze? It's a different from all the games I played on my channel. But I think we just have to get some different endings. Bro, this is a freaking maze. I'm freaking lost over here. Why is it so bright? I think this is the way.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay, should we restart it again?
Okay, yep,
Bro.
it's worse. I might be remembering
No
this
freaking
wrong.
dots this time.
It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay. Coffee spilled. Was that there? I don't know. Probably. Who knows?
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Bro, this is...
Now this
This
well, I'll
is
be
not
honest,
the
I
place I
don't
was.
recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so.
What?
I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing,
What?
how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Let's
I
go!
know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right, I've got a
Stanley
solution.
Paradox Adventure
This time,
Line.
to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just
The
follow
right?
the line. How simple is that?
Okay, this is new. I've never done this before. Zig zig. Ooh.
You see, the
zig,
line knows
ooh.
where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though,
Okay.
here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it
Yeah.
another way, is the story of no
What?
destination still a story?
I think you missed a spot.
Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into
What
being
in
via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to
going
apologize.
on?
Not sure
Well,
where
what-
I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now
Okay.
is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Number 6. It's better we snap it up and otherwise. Following this line, okay. Bro, this game is... I don't know. It's... What? What? You just saw that? I glitched. I'm trying to follow a line.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No.
What?
No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Probably not. This is ridiculous. Oh,
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore.
thank you so
To hell
much,
with
Line.
it.
I really appreciate it.
Restart.
You know? How many times do I have to freaking restart? Well, when is this
You know
going?
what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Okay. Something new.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I got some crazy fantasies,
no,
but
not you again. Stanley, I'd
The
also
line
like
is
to
again.
veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story.
Oh, this line
no
is-
lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
I don't think he's doing his job right because supposed to
a
be straight.
choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere,
What?
the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door.
Bro,
that
my
leads
head is
there.
spinning.
And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the
Oh my
counter-inverted
God,
reverse
this is
door's origin.
uncomfortable.
So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one.
Oh, this
Another
guy
victory for
talking a
logic.
lot.
Come, Stanley. Our destiny awaits.
On the right, though, okay. Confusing ending.
Oh, hold up. What's this?
You've been playing confusing ending
The
so far.
confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes?
How you can see that?
It's all determined?
Narrator
So
forgot
now,
about
according to the
previous
schedule, I restart
resets.
again. Then what? Am I just supposed to
End
forget?
up in another
Well,
building.
what if I don't want to forget?
Never
My
start
mind goes
again.
blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall.
That's all we did.
Well,
6
who
restarts.
consulted
Damn.
me? Why don't I get to
7,
decide?
8.
Why don't
Oh, okay,
I get a
okay.
say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Okay.
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The,
I guess
whatever it
so.
is that made this schedule? How would we even know?
18, 16,
Will someone come for us?
and 9.
Will something happen?
Probably not.
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the
guess.
destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
That was a confusing journey
Well,
then.
in the meantime, if you...
Bro, what? Oh my god, I just started the game again like this. So if I go on the right, I get it the confusing ending. Okay, I'm definitely not gonna go this way then again then.
Coming
This time,
to a
let's
staircase,
go
Stanley
down.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
This time let's go down. I don't know. What the freak? What is
But Stanley
the
just
down
couldn't
ending?
do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking
No, I'm not
mysteriously
crazy.
out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
It's a freaking
And
loop.
as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
What?
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty
Bro, what is a
familiar.
loop?
Were they simply repeating? No,
I'm in a
Stanley said to
freaking
himself,
loop.
this
That's
is
not the
all
game I'm gonna
too
play,
strange.
but-
This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it.
Bro.
I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what
Nah,
a
that's
relief
too real to
Stanley
be a
felt
dream.
to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Bro.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
I just
And then
freaking
perhaps
fly.
the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Yeah.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Well, how many times did I
Now,
freaking do
hearing
this
the
loop?
voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of the world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
You have a wife?
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life
What kind of
is
ending
normal.
is this? The loop ending?
I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
No.
Stanley began screaming.
Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
And everything went black.
What?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Mariella? That's my
Mariella
sister's
woke up
name.
on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance,
Stanley's
for
dead?
just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay, guys, I have to end the video here. I don't know what to say about those two endings, but the first ending was good, but those two endings was just confusing and weird. But if you want to see more of Stanley's Paradox and maybe, you know, say what endings I can do, you know, I can do, because I don't know. Maybe I'm probably gonna watch and, you know, do some research. But yeah, I think this game was nice. This game is actually nice. The narrator is carrying the freak out of this game. I think it's nice. But yeah, guys and girls, that is for this video. See you in the next one. Peace. Stay safe.